Their destiny now is in the hands of themselves here. They've got to win, and of course, down south, they've got to hope for the Padres to win. The Braves, winning last night, have clinched at least a tie. Bill Lasky, the big right-hander out of Toledo, Ohio, born there, still lives there. He's 24 years old, and the first pitch of the game to Steve Sachs is in there for a strike, 0-1. Lasky is definitely a control pitcher. He has walked only 43. He has struck out 86. He throws strikes, and he starts right off to Steve Sachs with a strike. Sachs in the game yesterday came up with 3 singles. So Lasky, who came in a trade from Kansas City that involved Rich Gale and Jerry Martin going from the Giants to Kansas City. Lasky started the season in the minors. He wasn't down there very long till they had him up here and into the starting rotation in a hurry. Here's the pitch, looped into center field. Venable coming up a few steps. He's right there to make the catch, and we have one away. The Sachs is out on a fly ball to center field. Sachs had reached base in each of the first 2 games, his first time up. Here's Kenny Landreau at bat. Landreau had a big home run yesterday, and it came in the second inning against Al Holland and gave the Dodgers at the time a 6-0 lead. Lasky made his major league debut against the Dodgers on April the 23rd in his lone relief outing of the season. After that, he became a starter, and he's been in that rotation ever since. Breaking ball is in for strike to Landreau, 0-1. Lasky 13-12, earned run average of 3.15, making his 31st start of the year. And the pitch to Landreau, nubbed off the end of the bat, foul, trickling to the Dodger on deck circle, and it is strike 2. The Dodgers are loosey-goosey, and of course the Giants are too. They would love to knock the Dodgers out of it, and the Giant fans who are here en masse, almost a sellout, would really like to cheer themselves hoarse at a Giant victory to eliminate the hated Dodgers. Pitch comes high for a ball, and the count to Landreau, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kenny is hitting .284 with 1 home run, 7 RBIs, and a .306 seasonal batting average against San Francisco. Lasky lost in his last start. The Braves beat him. He worked only 2 innings, gave up 6 hits. A swing and a miss, and Landreau goes down on strikes, chasing a high Hardwick. Lasky lasted only 2 1/3 innings against Atlanta a few days ago, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs, and was a losing pitcher. Here's Dusty Baker coming on. Baker with a .299 batting average. Dusty had 2 hits in yesterday's game, a double and a single. Baker grounds one to the right side through the hole to right field for a base hit. So Baker taking a rare shot to right field for the first hit of the game, and that brings on Steve Garvey. Garvey with a .282 batting average, 16 home runs, and 86 runs batted in. And just as there was conjecture the other night in Los Angeles about it being Garvey's last game at home in Dodger Stadium in the Dodger uniform, so was there a lot of conjecture today about this maybe being his last game in the Dodger uniform. He is booed here in San Francisco, which is a tribute to him, because he has hurt the Giants throughout his career. Garvey this year is hitting .354 against San Francisco with 14 runs batted in. He does not have a home run against them this year, however. But in his career, Garvey has hit 24 home runs against San Francisco. So Baker's at first, and the pitch to Garvey down low. Ball 1, a fastball blocked by Brenly, the catcher. Brenly catching, Lasky on the mound. Smith at first, Morgan at second, Lemaster at short, Evans at third. The outfield is Leonard, Venable, and Clark. Brenly catching, Lasky ready, runner going. Here's the throw to second base. It's going to be plenty of time, and Baker's out. Baker's caught stealing. The Dodgers are down in the first. No runs, 1 hit, none left. We'll go to the bottom half of the inning in a moment. Score, 0-0.
And for True Value Hardware stores, it's quality, selection, and service.
Fernando Valenzuela has had a great year and could have had a much better year had he been able to handle the Giants. Against the Giants, he is 0-4 this year, and he's 3-5 lifetime against San Francisco, and he is making his 5th start against the Giants this year. In 24 previous innings, his earned run average is 6.9. He has walked 17 and struck out 19, so he has really been wild against the Giants. He has lost 2 games here, and he lost 2 in Los Angeles. The last one was by 1 run on the 25th, a week ago Saturday at Los Angeles. Here's the leadoff batter, Max Venable, now coming on, hitting .230 on the year. Venable, a left-hand hitting leadoff man. He's replaced Chili Davis in the lineup, and here's the pitch on the way. In there for strike 0-1. Fernando trying to get his 20th win of the year, and this will be his third start at it. His last win was at Los Angeles when he lasted 10 innings and beat the Astros 5-4. And after that, the Dodgers began their long losing streak, which is really why they're in the position they're in now, looking south for a little help. We'll keep you posted playing scoreboard with the game in San Diego, also in the game in Baltimore, all three games starting at approximately the same time. Here's a strike call to Venable on the count of 1-2. Lawler is pitching in San Diego for the Padres. He will be opposed by Rick Camp, who has won 11 and lost 12 for Atlanta. First two batters for the Braves have struck out. Fernando working, and Venable swinging the bat. Left-hand hitter waiting. Grounds one foul down the first baseline. Strangely enough, the Giants, who have been lathering Fernando all year, have been led by the left-handed hitters. Morgan has 3 hits. Evans has 3. Smith has been the big culprit with 4 out of 7 batting right-handed against Fernando. 1-2 count to the leadoff man, Venable. Fernando working from the third base side of the rubber. The windup and the pitch on the way. Strike 3 call. One away. Venable strikes out, and here's Joe Morgan. Morgan against Fernando. 3 hits in 9 at-bats and 2 runs batted in. In the first inning at Baltimore, Robin Yount has hit a home run, and Milwaukee leads 1-0, and that is Don Sutton going against Jim Palmer in the showdown at Baltimore. And it's strange that Baltimore is now in a tie for first. That's as high as they've been in the standings all year. So you talk about a stretch run, trying to get their nose over the wire ahead of Milwaukee. Fastball to Morgan is low, ball 1. It would really be a rarity indeed, and I'm not sure that they keep records about such things, for a team to win the pennant without ever leading the league until the last day. That would really be staggering, wouldn't it? Here's the 1-0 look to Little Joe, and here's the pitch on the way. Taken too high for a ball. Fernando, one of his problems against the Giants, he has given up 17 walks in 24 innings to them, and 26 hits. But he has not pitched well against the Giants. 3 and 5 lifetime. 2-0 the count to Morgan with Jack Clark on deck, and here's the pitch. In there, it's a strike call. 2-1. Fernando's control record is okay. Walks to strikeouts. Now the pitch, Morgan takes inside for a ball. He has walked 78 and struck out 190. Fernando is 4th in the league in strikeouts. Bobby Welch, by the way, is 5th. Soto looks like he would wrap it up with 274 to Carlton's 273. Another strike to Morgan, and it's 3-2. Carlton will lead the league in wins with 22, and if Fernando can win today, he would be the only other 20-game winner. Fernando begins today 5th in earned run average, 4th in strikeouts, 2nd in complete games with a chance to be first, and 2nd in innings pitched with a chance to be first. 3-2 to Little Joe. First inning, and no score. The Dodgers went out in order. Morgan takes low, and he's on with a walk. Morgan was the all-time leader in walks. Picks up still another one. The batter now will be Jack Clark. Clark is 1 for 11 against Fernando on the year. And Clark, against the Dodgers on the year, is hitting .237. So the Dodgers had a base runner, Baker, who was out stealing, and it might have been a busted hit and run play because Baker, I think, asked Garvey what happened when they went to the field, and we don't know, of course, what the response was. 1 out, 1 on, and here's the look, and the pitch to Clark instead is a throw to first base. Morgan, of course, even at the old age of 38, is still a very good base stealer. Clark up there, they might put on a play. Morgan has stolen 24. He's been caught only 4 times. There he goes. Hit and run, foul out of play, and it is strike 1. So they had him going on the very first pitch. Fernando is usually pretty good at reading when the runner's going to move. He has had more runners picked off than anybody we've seen in a long time. At that time, Morgan was away, and Fernando had only made 1 throw over there. All right, Fernando looking. Clark back out of the batter's box. Infield double play depth against Jack. Here's the arm stretch on the look, and the pitch on the way. A little low for a ball, and the count is 1-1. The Braves do not score in their first turn at bat. So now the Padres come to bat down south. Throw to first, not in time. One and one the count. Fernando's most critical hour right now. Morgan a big lead, and so Fernando just has to drive him back. He had too much of a lead over there to allow that. Fernando flipped it over to Garvey. Game number 162, the finale on the schedule, unless the Dodgers can work it into a playoff. The look, and again a throw, and again Morgan, a very, very heady base runner. You don't fool him very much. Time called now. Morgan wants a glove from the bat boy. So you put that glove on to use for sliding. He's telling everybody he's going to be running, perhaps. Puts that glove on the right hand. Now gets his lead away from Garvey. 1-1 the count to Clark. Morgan again set, and he gets another throw. One ball, one strike with one man out. Fernando looks at Little Joe and again throws over there. Count. Dodgers certainly wish they could have saved some of yesterday's runs. Here's the pitch. He's not going, and it's fouled away. 1-2. Dodgers winning handily 15-2. In fact, Frank Robinson ran up the white flag early in that ball game. In about the 5th inning, he sent in the shock troops. The Dodgers kept right on rolling, and they left a lot of the regulars in there to keep them tuned up for today's game and hopefully for a game tomorrow. The best the Dodgers can hope for now, of course, is a playoff, since the Braves won last night. Now the pitch, and again a throw to first base. So Fernando being overly cautious with Joe Morgan, a very good base runner. Clark, strong right-hand batter, having a great season. 27 home runs, 103 runs batted in. And the pitch on the way, swung on and missed. He struck him out. So Clark goes down swinging on a good fastball. Strikeout number 2, and here is Reggie Smith. Reggie 4 for 7 against Fernando with 3 runs batted in. Smith, switch hitter, batting from the right side, and this is not his best side. His best side from the left at 308, from the right side 226. 16 home runs from the left, and 2 from the right. Now the pitch to Reggie, high and outside ball 1-0 the count. So Smith at bat, Morgan on first base, drawing a 1-out walk. One ball, no strikes to Reggie. And again a throw to first base, and he almost caught him going that time. Morgan was ready to move, and Fernando fired over there. Little Joe reacted quickly and got back. 1-0 the count. Morgan again leading off. Here's the look. 1-0, and the pitch to the plate. Long drive, foul down the left field side. Reggie belted it deep into the left field stands, foul ball, and the count is 1-1. It was foul from the time it left the bat. In the last game that Fernando pitched against the Giants in Los Angeles a week ago yesterday, the Dodger defense was so generous that even though Fernando lost by a score of 5-4, he could have pitched a shutout. Now the 1-1 look. And the pitch to Reggie. Fouled away out of play. Strike 2. 1-2. The Dodgers had manipulated the pitching rotation for just this eventuality. Would they need Fernando on the last day of the season? And they had the rotation set up several weeks ago so that it would come out like it has. And we'll see now if they're going to reap the harvest and get a tie. Have a playoff tomorrow. They wanted to pitch, throw to first base instead. If there is a playoff, it will be at Dodger Stadium tomorrow at 5:15. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smith backs out. First things first, though, the Dodgers have to win here to even get a possibility of it. Go to the plate. Strike break call. Got him looking on a screwball, and Fernando strikes out the side. And the Giants are done in the first. 1, 2, 3. And the score at the end of 1, Dodgers nothing, Giants nothing.
Dodger Baseball is brought to you in part by Don Sanderson Ford. Hear every Dodger game on 620 KTAR Phoenix.
Here's Garvey coming on now as we play in the second inning. Garvey, a .282 batting average, and against the Giants, .354 for the season. Garvey was left stranded when Baker was out going to second base on maybe a broken hit-and-run play or a straight steal, we don't know. Garvey takes a strike at the knees on a fastball from Lasky, and it is 0-1 to Speed. Mundy on deck and Say to follow. The Dodgers were pumped up hitting-wise yesterday, getting 17 hits, and they had 7 the night before. But it's a different day today, a different pitcher. Ground ball up the middle, a base hit for Garvey. Steve opens up the second inning with a base hit. Baker had closed out the first inning with a single. So the Dodgers now have 2 hits, and here's Mundy at bat. Mundy hitting .257 with 1 home run, a grand slam here on Friday night. And Mundy has a .261 batting average against the Giants for the year. So Mundy, who has not decided whether he's going to play another year or not, and I imagine that decision will come later on. Mundy, of course, had talked about retiring, but there hasn't been anything said lately. The way Mundy's played this year, I would guess that he's going to try some more because he's had a pretty good season. Here's the pitch to Mo, taken low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Mundy, 11 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Runner on first, Garvey. A beautiful day, not a breath of wind. Gorgeous afternoon, not a cloud in the sky. Here's the pitch to Mundy. Swing and a foul, back out of play, 1-1. In San Diego, the Padres do not score in the first inning, so it's zip-zip down there with the Braves batting in the second. Meanwhile, Baltimore and Milwaukee leading 1-0 in the second inning. And that's Palmer going against Don Sutton. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mundy waits, 1 on and nobody out. Big Bill Lasky, 13-game winner in his first season, I should say. The pitch is low for a ball. 2-1 now to Mundy. Lasky, 6'5", 190-pounder. And the Giants have a lot of big guys. They could play a pretty good basketball team with that pitching staff. Several of them around 6'4" and 6'5". 2-1 the count to Mundy. Smith holds Garvey at first base. Say is on deck and the pitch on the way. Bouncing ball to second. Morgan will go to second base for 1. That's all they're going to get. So Mundy forces Garvey on a ground ball to Morgan. And Morgan flipped to LeMaster. No return throw. Here's Say at bat. Say batting .252. Hit a home run, walked 3 times yesterday. Walked twice, actually, because Stewart, his replacement in that batting spot, also walked. Stewart got a save yesterday, by the way, and it was his first of the year. Here's Say hitting .252 and against the Giants, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, and a .364 batting average for the year. Russell is the Dodgers' top hitter average-wise against San Francisco this season at .386. Say takes low with a slider, 1 ball and no strikes. Ronnie has 23 home runs, 77 runs batted in. Mundy's on first base, 1 out in the second inning, no score. Lasky with a throw to first. Mundy gets back. One ball, no strikes to Say, the pitch. Taken in there, good fastball, 1-1. Big crowd, but not quite a capacity crowd. On Friday night, we had 53,281 for the largest crowd of the year. This one will be very close to 50,000 today, however. Fan Appreciation Day. They'll have prizes after the game awarded. 1 ball and 1 strike. Throw to first again, and again Mundy is back. First 2 Braves batters have been retired in the second inning. No score. No score here. Here's the stretch and the look, and the pitch to Say. Long fly ball to left field, way back. This ball is going. It's gone. Dodgers lead on Ron Say's home run. Ron Say got a hold of one he liked, and just as he did yesterday, belted one out of here. Say's 24th of the year and his 6th against San Francisco. And he's hit 4 of them here. So Say belts one. And that is the Dodgers' 15th home run against the Giants, and they've hit 9 in this park. The pitch to Socia as the Dodgers lead 2-0 on Say's home run, and Say, who was really fighting a terrible slump during the 8-game losing streak, has come out of it now. Here's a pop-up by Socia to the right of home plate. Down comes Smith. Over goes Brindley, the catcher calling, and he makes the play. So Socia fouls out for the second out. And here's Russell at bat. Russell hitting .274 on the year and .386 for the season against San Francisco. But Say has peppered the Giants for home runs. He's now hit 6 against them this year. Guerrero had 4. Here's Russell waiting. And the pitch is in there for strikeability. The other Dodger home runs, Landreau, Mundy, Sachs, and Socia each have hit 1. 1 strike count to Russell, taken high for a ball on the home run. The Union Oil Company pleased to present a $50 book of Union Oil auto script to the Palm Springs Youth Center on Bellardo Road in Palm Springs. Here's the look and the pitch on the way to Russell. Lined it over second in the right center field, and he's still on a spree against the Giants. Backhanded in right field by Clark, and Russell has a base hit. That is hit number 4 for the Dodgers, who lead 2-0 and brings on Valenzuela. Meanwhile, the Braves are retired in order in the second inning, and it's still no score down south. Valenzuela coming on, and Fernando, of course, a good hitter. Giants will have a little meeting. Smith comes to the mound to talk to his pitcher, Lasky. For Say here, he's hit 4 and 19 in this park and 34 lifetime against the Giants. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's in there for a strike. So Ronnie has hit 19 home runs in Candlestick Park, and he's hit 15 against them in Los Angeles. The pitch to Fernando, swinging and a miss, reaching for a fastball, 0-2. Russell on at first base, and Fernando trying to keep it alive here in the second inning. Garvey single, forced by Mundy, and a home run by Say. Dodgers leading 2-0 over the Giants in the second, and Fernando looks at one and gets away from Brindley, and down to second base goes Bill Russell. And we'll see how they score that one. It'll be a ball and 2-strike count on Fernando. And it looked like it popped out of the glove of Brindley. We'll wait for the official score to watch the replay and then tell us. Wild pitch, okay. So a wild pitch from Lasky, and Fernando now with a chance to pick up a run. Fernando waiting. And the pitch on the way. Foul back over the screen for a strike. Fernando has a home run and 9 runs batted in for the year. One and 2. Fernando waiting, trying to pick up Russell from second base. Lasky ready, and the pitch on the way. Fly ball to center field and hit deep. Venable going back, and he makes the catch. Fernando hit it a long way, and Venable had to hurry back. So long out to center. On to the second with 2 runs. They leave a man, and the score at the end of an inning and a
and things, 1003 East Camelback.
Fernando with 2 to work on, warming up now, and the Giants will start it off with Evans, Leonard, and Brindley. Fernando's last win against the Giants was well over a year ago, last April 1981. On the 27th, he shut them out 5-0. And that was at Dodger Stadium. He wound up 2-1 against the Giants last year. He's lost 5 straight, including all 4 this year. This year he lost 6-3 and 6-1 here at San Francisco. He lost 8-6 and 5-4 in Los Angeles. And Ron Cey has staked him to a 2-run lead, and here's Darrell Evans at bat, hitting .255. And Evans up now. Left-hand hitter. He's at 3 out of 6 against Fernando, making 4 out of 7. A line shot to center field. And Darrell Evans throws one up the middle on Fernando's first pitch here in the second inning. That brings on Jeff Leonard. And Leonard is 2 for 11 with a run batted in against Fernando. The first loss by Fernando here was the day that Leonard hit the grand slam home run off relief pitcher Dave Stewart. Leonard hit a home run off Stewart yesterday. Fernando looks at first base. Evans, not much of a lead over there. But Darrell Evans hits left-hander Fernando quite well. Here's the pitch on the way to Leonard. Ground ball to third. It's going to be a fair ball down the line, going into the bullpen area. Evans will go to third. Leonard to second base with nobody out. Leonard hits one right over the bag, down the line, all the way to the bullpen. And it is runners at second and third, nobody out. And Fernando, who struck out the side in the first inning, is going to have to go to the whip now against Brindley, LeMaster, and Lasky. Brindley is 3 for 7 against Fernando. So he gives up back-to-back hits here, and he's in a jam immediately. And the Dodger bullpen gets busy immediately as Joe Beckwith starts to throw. So Fernando has had no luck at all in his career against the Giants. He's 0-4 and he's in trouble right away. Here's the look and here's the pitch on the way. In the dirt with a breaking ball, 1 ball and no strikes. The Padres do not score in the second inning. It's 0-0 down south. Milwaukee adds a run on Baltimore, 2-0 going to the third with Don Sutton against Jim Palmer. 1 ball and no strikes to Brindley. The pitch on the way is low, ball 2. Manager Tommy Lasorda, realizing that today is the last day if they don't win, said he would not waste any time in making pitching changes today. And he has a pitcher warming up behind Fernando right now. Here's the pitch to Brindley. Way outside, ball 3. So he is indeed digging a hole. Tying runs are out there in scoring position, and the lead run is at the plate with a 3 ball and no strike count. So Fernando looking for a sign now. He'll have to throw strikes, and they might green light Brindley. Here it is. He walked it. So Fernando walks the bases loaded. Brindley drawing a base on balls on 4 that weren't even close. Here's LeMaster at bat, hitting .216. LeMaster is 1 for 6 with a run batted in against Fernando. The pitcher Lasky is due up next. The Giant fans are delirious. They have the bases loaded and nobody out, and LeMaster at bat. The Dodgers go to double play that. And Fernando now will have to go to the whip. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Leading 2-0, but in jeopardy now. Fernando set the look and the pitch on the way. Low for a ball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. And as we mentioned at the outset, his big problem against the Giants, he's walked too many of them. 17 and 24 previous innings. The 0-1-0 pitch. Ball 2, low and inside. Time, here comes Lasorda. He's going to try to settle him down. words of wisdom to his young left-hander. And here comes Frank Pulley, the umpire, trying to speed things along. Tommy talking to Fernando here in the second. The bases are loaded and a 2-ball and no strike count on Johnny LeMaster, the shortstop. All right, the meeting is over. Fernando on his own again. 2-0 count. The windup and the pitch. Way inside, ball 3. 3-0 the count. LeMaster is hitting just 179 against the Dodgers this year. 3 balls and no strikes. Fernando bluffed at Evans at third base, who opened the inning with a single. Leonard doubled, and Brenly drew a walk. Fernando ready, the 3-0 pitch. Strike call, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike. LeMaster bluffing that time. So Fernando's got to throw strikes all the way now, or he is in a mess. The 3-1 pitch. He walked him to force over a run. Here is Lasky, the pitcher, coming up. The run is in. It is 2-1, and Fernando hadn't been able to get it out here. As Lasky, with 8 hits and 4 runs batted in, takes the strike. 0-1. Dodgers will put Steve Howe to work in the bullpen. They got to get out of this inning. They might have to go to Howe early. 1 strike count to Lasky. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball to shortstop. Russell goes to second, 1. On to first base. They get the double play, but the run scores to tie the game. That might be a big help to get the double play. 6-4-3 as Lasky grounds into the DP, but the Giants have caught up. Leonard scores, and Brenly takes third. That brings on Max Venable, the leadoff batter. So the Dodgers got 2 on the home run in the top of the inning. The Giants have evened it on a single, a double, and 2 walks. But the double play has helped out as Lasky grounds into the DP. And here is Venable at bat. Struck out his first time up. Left-hand hitter facing Fernando. So there are 2 outs. Runner at third, and here's the pitch to Venable. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Fernando struck out the side in the first inning and almost walked the side in the second inning. 1 strike count. Venable waiting at the plate. Fernando trying to get out of a mighty tough situation. Here's the pitch. Fly ball foul off third. Say, can't reach it. It goes into the stands, out of play. Strike 2. The Braves do not score in the third inning. And it is still 0-0 playing in the bottom of the third down there. It's 2-2 here. As Fernando, for the first time we can remember, walked in a run. Strike 2 count on Venable, the windup, and down it comes. He struck him out. A strike 3 call. 4 strikeouts for Fernando, but a damaging inning for his chances. 2 runs, 2 hits, and a man left on, but he got out of it perhaps cheaply enough. And the score at the end of 2, a 2-2 tie.
For a run, Glenn's Repair, Atascadero, ask for Steve or Rick. Ask your Snapper dealer about Snapper Savings Day.
On the scoreboard in the ball game at Baltimore, Robin Yount hits his second home run of the game to give him 29 for the year, and the Brewers are leading 3-0 behind Don Sutton over Jim Palmer. The Brewers win now. How about Yount as the MVP? 2 home runs today in the big one. Now the Dodgers start off with the top of the batting order with Sachs, Landreau, and Baker. The Dodgers got a 2-run lead on the homer by Say, but then Fernando came back and gave up a single to Evans, a double to Leonard, and walked Brenly to load the bases. He then walked weak-hitting LeMaster to force over a run before getting the pitcher Lasky to ground into a double play, and then he struck out Venable. But the walks were costly to Fernando, lost his control momentarily. And he has had that fallacy against the Giants all year. Here's Sachs at bat, flied to center first time up. Big Bill Lasky into the windup and the pitch to Steve. Taken down low, ball 1. 1-0 is the count. The Giants, of course, tried to treat it as just another game. They were eliminated yesterday. They would really like to knock off the Dodgers and have something to say about the race. Here's the pitch high for a ball, and the count is 2-0. That is always the role of the team that has been eliminated. They like to knock off the contenders no matter what's left or how bad it's been. Just like the Reds coming to Dodger Stadium last week and polishing them off twice. The 2-0 pitch, and Sachs takes a strike. He was going to bluff a bunt. 2-1. The Reds, by the way, lost that 100th game last night to Houston. So they have set a record for a Reds team of futility. 2-1 the count to Sachs, hitting .284, a 6-game hitting streak. And the pitch swung on and missed a good hard, and it's 2-2. Lasky was touched up for 4 hits for the Dodgers, including the home run by Stay. So now he goes through the batting order for the second time, and he has a 2-2 count to Sachs. Big Bill to the windup and his pitch. Dubbed up the third baseline. He broke his bat. Sachs running to first, and he's out. That ball was on the hand, sawed off the bat. The barrel of the bat is at the batter's box. The handle went up the third baseline, and out went the catcher, Brindley, to pick it up and throw him out. So Sachs, who was left standing in the batter's box, is out. Catcher to first. And before we see Landreau, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
You're listening to Dodger Baseball, sponsored in part by your Safeway Supermarkets. This is your Dodger station, KTAR Phoenix.
Here's Landreau at bat now, and Kenny takes a fastball at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Sachs out on a little dribbler out in front of home plate. Landreau at bat with Baker to follow. A 2-2 tie here at Candlestick. Bill Lasky set to go with it, and the pitch on the way. Landreau tries to bunt, fouls it away. Landreau fouling one down, and it's strike 2 to Kenny. Big home run in yesterday's game, also a single. Drove in 3 and scored 2. The Padres failed to score in the third inning, and there's no score. 3 innings gone. That's Camp against Lawler down south. So they're playing it close up there now. Of course, if the Braves win, the Dodgers have no control over it. Landreau fouls one straight back to the wire, 0-2. That, of course, was the occasion when the Dodgers lost to the Braves last week in 12 innings and had left the bases loaded in the 9th. Failed to score. The Braves went on to pull that one out, and that turned out to be the big one of the year so far. Here's a changeup outside for a ball, and the count is 1-2 to Landreau. That was the first game of the Atlanta series, and the Braves won it in 12, 4-3. Here's the look and the pitch on the way to Kenny. Foul out of play. The Dodgers in that game to refresh your memory, and it's really a rather bad thought. Bases loaded with 1 out. Sachs hit into a forced play, and Mundy lined out to Glenn Hubbard. That retired the side, and the game, for all intents and purposes, went down the drain with that one. That line drive Mundy hit right to Glenn Hubbard. Fastball is outside to Landreau. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, third inning. Baker on deck. We're in the 2-2 tie. Landreau, pop-up on the infield at third base. Evans calling. Backing up a few steps. Darrell waits. He's got it. 2 down. So 2 away with Baker at bat. Baker singled to right field his first time up. Dusty's batting average is right on the button at 300. Big crowd, beautiful day, fitting climax to a great season. The Giants have had an excellent season. Congratulations go along to Bob Lurie, their owner, and Tom Haller, the GM. Here's the pitch to Baker. Nubbed up the first base side foul. Brindley picks it up and gives it back to the umpire. Baker has 23 home runs and 87 runs batted in. Ron Say hit his 24th a while ago. He has 228 career home runs as a Dodger to top the all-time Los Angeles list and rank 4th on the all-time Dodger list going back to Brooklyn. The pitch on the way to Baker changed that's low for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Baker watched that one all the way to the glove. Lasky down to tie a shoelace. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 men out. The game is in the 3rd inning. Okay, Dusty waiting. Big Bill on the hill into the windup. And the pitch to Baker. Outside with a breaking ball, and it's 2-1. Lasky has not walked a batter. Fernando has walked 2. Make it 3. The last with the bases loaded. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way. Popped up behind the plate. Friendly turns right behind home and makes the catch. And Baker didn't hit much of that one at all. Little weak foul behind the plate. Side retired in order in the 3rd, and the score going to the bottom of the 3rd, a 2-2 tie.
For a custom van that is distinctively different, visit Don Sanderson Ford in Glendale, just north of Bethany Home Road on Grand Avenue.
On the scoreboard on this final day of the season, Steve Carlton pitches all the way to beat New York and win his 23rd of the year, and perhaps lock up the Cy Young Award. A complete game for Carlton. He was tied with Fernando in the league lead for complete games. He will lead the league in innings pitched, and no doubt, we're not sure how many strikeouts he picked up, but he will probably lead the league in strikeouts. He needed only 2 to go ahead. Here's Morgan with a bouncer foul off to the right of home plate, strike 1, as we play now in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Montreal beat Pittsburgh 6-1, and Steve Rogers went all the way to get his 19th win of the year. It is St. Louis 2, Chicago 3, but the Cardinals have had trouble winning since they clinched the pennant last week, and they're behind to the Cubs at Chicago. Cincinnati and Houston 1-0 Houston at the end of 2.5 innings of play. Atlanta and San Diego, no score at the end of 3.5 innings of play. Braves going down in the 4th. Lawler against Camp down there. Fernando's pitch to Morgan is high for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Baltimore has picked up a run on a home run by Gulliver, and it's now 3-1 in favor of Milwaukee, playing in the bottom of the 3rd. Don Sutton against Jim Palmer. Curve is high, and again, Fernando does not look impressive. He's been a little wild. Oakland and Kansas City, 5-3 Oakland in the 5th inning. And that's the highlights of the scoreboard. Here's the pitch to Morgan. Outside for a ball, and it goes to 3-1 count. And Fernando, it's really tough to figure out how he can pitch so well against everybody else and then be wild against the Giants. Wild. And that's the story again today. He's gone to a 3-1 count to Morgan, and the pitch on the way. Popped up on the left side. Russell will call for it, going to the rim of the grass. Sunglasses down, and Billy makes the catch for the out. So Morgan pops out to Russell, and that brings on Jack Clark, who struck out his first time up. So Carlton with his 23rd win, his 19th complete game. Rogers gets his 19th win. Carlton will dominate the stats. He will be the leader in strikeouts, innings pitched, games won, maybe complete games, and shutouts. Boy, has he had some kind of year. Even though Necros won 17 games for the Braves. There's a foul pulled out of play down the left side. You'd almost have to give it to Carlton now. The other day we thought, well, Necro might be a good choice, but boy, Carlton has had all the numbers. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out. Here's the 0-1 count after Clark fouls one away. Takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-2. Fernando seems to have a little better luck pitching to the right-hand batters than he does to the left-hand batters. Bullpen activity for the Giants. A couple of players warming up down there, infielders. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called on Jack Clark. He's out for the 2nd time. Strikeout number 5. And here is Smith coming on. Johnny Rabb and Joe Patini are playing catch in the bullpen area. LeMaster, of course, has been playing with a bad leg, and he might come out of there when the Giants go to the field in the 4th inning. Here's Reggie at bat. He struck out his first time up. Reggie batting right-handed, 286 year. Here's the pitch on the way to Reggie. Swing and a miss on the screwball, 0-1. 0-1 to count. Reggie hurt Fernando earlier in the year with a base hit to drive in some big runs. Oh, 1 to count. Reggie backs out for a moment. Two divisions have been wrapped up. The Angels doing it yesterday by beating Texas. Time called. Reggie and swinging so hard, might have hurt himself. Time call for a moment. Now he's okay, back in there. Robinson started to come out and see if he was all right. Here's the 0-1 look, and the pitch on the way to Reggie. A little low for a ball, 1-1. So the Angels wrap it up yesterday. St. Louis earlier in the week. And today, Baltimore and Milwaukee, a flat-footed tie, playing against each other at Baltimore. Reggie takes outside for ball, and it's 2-1. And the National League West, of course, you know all about that. We're locked up here, 2-2. They're locked up down south, 0-0. 2 outs for the Padres in the fourth. Curveball is outside, ball 3 to Smith, 3-1. The only hit in the game down south has been a single by Joe LaFay in the second inning. So the pitchers are really going after him down there today. 3-1 the count, and here's the pitch on the way to Reggie. Ball 4, he's on with a walk. That's the fourth walk given up by Fernando. You just can't figure it out, can you? Here's a guy with good control, but against one club, he has all kinds of problems with his control. Fernando now has worked 27 innings against the Giants this year. He has now walked 21 batters, and he has struck out 24. But that's not too good. The second hit of the game in San Diego is a double by Terry Kennedy, with 2 out in the fourth. Evans takes a curve down low, ball 1. Darrell got a single to center field to start the second inning, and that led to the 2 runs for the Giants. Smith on first, and the pitch on the way. Evans a swing and a miss at a high breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. A 1-1 count. We're in the bottom of the third inning here at San Francisco. Now here's the look, and the pitch on the way. In low for a ball. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. We're in the bottom of the third here. They're in the bottom of the fourth. So they picked up an inning on us already down in San Diego. 2-1. And the pitch to Evans. Strike 2 on a fastball. 2-2. He might have been looking for a breaking ball that time, and Darrell let it go by. Jeff Leonard is on deck. The Dodgers 2 runs, 4 hits. The Giants 2 runs and 2 hits. Fernando a little wild, a 2-2 count. Runner going, and the pitch is high. Throw to second base is going to be not in time. Smith steals it. Sosa threw the ball to the shortstop side of the bag, and Russell had to swipe at Smith, and he didn't get him. So Reggie Smith going, and Sosa not able to throw at a slow-footed runner. For Smith, that's his 7th steal. He hasn't been caught, so I guess it's the element of surprise that has made Reggie successful. Of course, in his younger days, he could run pretty well. And now with a 3-2 count, Fernando has his hands full with a good hitter against him, Darrell Evans. He's had 4 out of 7 on the season against him. Tied at 2. Smith catching Fernando and Socha unawares to steal the base. That might be a big play. We'll see. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Line foul off the third base side, down behind the auxiliary boxes. And the count is still 3-2 to Evans. 16 home runs, 61 runs batted in. He really hurt the Dodgers in Los Angeles when the Giants won 3 one-run ball games last weekend. A 3-2 count. A 2-2 tie, runner at second in the last half of the third. Here's the look, and here's the pitch. He walked it. Pitch was outside. 5 walks given up by Fernando to go with 5 strikeouts. And here is Leonard, who doubled down the third baseline his last time up. And now Beckwith is up again in the Dodger bullpen. So whatever there is about it, pitching against the Giants, Fernando can't get the ball over. He has walked 5, and we're only in the third inning. And here's a guy who's noted for his good control. Well, how do you know? All right, here's Leonard, a tough hitter against the Dodgers. .259 average against the league this year. Hit a home run yesterday. Leonard backs out of the batter's box. He has 2 home runs against the Dodgers this year and 13 runs batted in. Won a grand slam and the solo shot yesterday. Here's the pitch to Jeff. Swing and a miss and a strike. Socha bluffed to throw back to second base, and Smith went scurrying back into the bag. No throw. Fernando trying to extricate himself from another sticky situation here. Gave up 2 runs in the second, got the first 2 batters in the third, and now puts 2 on walks. Smith and Evans drew walks. The Padres fail to score in the fourth, so they go to the fifth, 0-0. Here's Fernando's pitch to Leonard. Strike 2 call. Fastball on the outside corner to Jeff. 0-2. 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. He's kept the Dodger bench really sitting on the edge of their seats down there. Doing a high wire act right now. 0-2. Fernando ready. And the pitch to Leonard. Low and inside for a ball. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smith on second base with a steal after a walk, and Evans at first base with a base on balls. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fernando ready again, and the pitch to Leonard. Struck him out. He went for the screwball, and down he goes. 6 strikeouts. Side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left. And at the end of 3, it's a 2-2 tie.
Who's got the big value in compact drought?
Go along into the 4th inning of the ball game, and Terry Harper has just hit a home run for the Atlanta Braves, and the Braves lead 1-0 in the ball game at San Diego. Well, we're ready to go to play now in the 4th inning, and for more action, here's Vin Scully. Vinny?
Thank you, Jerry, and of course for Tim Lawler, that's the first hit he's allowed, and it's a home run. So, where the Dodgers had put a little heat on Atlanta by posting 2 in the early going on Say's home run, Atlanta now will return the favor by posting a 1-0 lead. And, of course, an Atlanta lead is more important than a Dodger lead at the moment. Steve Garvey, Rick Monday, and Ron Say. Because no matter what the Dodgers do up here, they could win 15-0. It doesn't mean anything unless Atlanta loses. Meanwhile, it's 3-1, Milwaukee leading Baltimore in the 4th inning. What a day. Maybe one of the great days in baseball history. The pitch to Garvey is low. Ball 1, 1-0. Steve single to center in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 1. Garvey followed by Monday and then Say. Lasky turns. The big right-hander's 1-0 pitch is lifted to left field. Leonard has a play. Jeff comes in a few steps now and makes the catch for the out. One down, and the batter will be Rick Monday. You know, we're saying what a great day this is in baseball, one of the great days in baseball history. This has been a rather historic year. For instance, for the first time since 1958, no Major League team will win 60% of its games, which really means they have reached parity. And one reason why we have such great pennant races, there are no runaway teams. Rick Monday fouls it away 0-1. In fact, back in 75 and 76, when the Reds had a great team, Bob Howsam, then the head of the Reds, said, you know, this is going to be the last of the great teams, because he felt free agency would balance things out a great deal. And you know what? In thinking back to Bob's remark, he's absolutely right. Monday takes inside 1-1. The other interesting thing is Fernando struggles to try and win his 20th. If he fails to make his 20th, something will happen this year that has not happened in Major League history. That is from 1900 on. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Monday takes a strike, 1-2. Would you believe if Fernando doesn't make it, that for the first time in Major League history, there would then be only one 20-game winner, only one in both leagues, Steve Coleman. So this has been a strange year all around. The 1-2 pitch Monday, fists one, back of third, down the line, slicing foul, drops untouched. Give us a chance to tell you that Joe Patini is now playing shortstop for Johnny LeMaster. LeMaster can't wait for the year to be over, and of course, as far as he's concerned, it is over. Patini playing because LeMaster has a very bad right leg. And to conclude the thought about Carlton and possibly being the only 20-game winner in the major leagues, he won again. He's finishing up with 23. But this has been a strange season indeed. From opening day, from the beginning, when the Braves won 13, when the Braves hit the skids and lost 19 out of 21, and then when the Dodgers lost 8 straight, it has really been a roller coaster of all time. Monday takes low, ball 2, 2-2. But look how it has paid off, this parity, whatever you want to call it. The Dodgers and the Braves go to the last day. Milwaukee and Baltimore to the last day. Kansas City and California to the next to the last day. I mean, you just can't ask for better handicapping. 2-2 pitch is hit up the middle, but Morgan was shading him over there and throws him out. 2 down, and Ron Say, the batter. Yeah, if this was a racetrack, the handicapper would really get a pat on the back. Outstanding races. Here's Ron Say with the 2-run home run in the second inning. And of course, in the American League East, Baltimore had never been in first place until they moved into a tie yesterday. If you like baseball, this is an absolute feast for you today. As Say swings and doesn't get it, 0-1. So we're 2-2 in the fourth, and the Braves are leading 1-0 in the fifth on the home run by Terry Harper. The next pitch to Ron Say, another strike on the outside corner. Say with a half a dozen home runs against the Giants. He hit one yesterday and again today. That equals Baker's output against the Braves. Dusty hit a half a dozen against Atlanta. 0-2 with 2 down, 4th inning. In a 2-2 tie. Lasky ready, turns and delivers, and the fastball is just outside, ball 1. The Giants were a little worried about Lasky, only for this reason. Not only is this his 31st start, but he also pitched all winter. And they were saying that he is tired, and they didn't know if he could keep the ball down enough. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Say takes it high and outside, ball 2, 2-2. But he doesn't look like a tired pitcher. He's allowed 2 runs and 4 hits, but he's actually pitched much better than Fernando, who has been trying, I think, to slice the corners off home plate. Fernando has struck out 6, but he's walked 5. Now the 2-2 pitch to Say, checked his swing, they look at first, swing, says Crawford, and the inning is over. At the end of 3.5 innings, a 2-2 tie. Milwaukee leading Baltimore 3-1. 2 home runs by Robin Yount and a home run by Gulliver, who made his travels in the 3rd inning. In the 4th inning, Bob Brenly, Johnny LeMaster's replacement, Joe Patini, and then Bill Lasky. And the first pitch is a long drive into left center. Baker going, however, to the track and makes the catch. So Brenly, it sounded like a cannon shot, but it was acoustically better than it was actually hit, and Baker caught it on the track. 1 away, and the batter, Joe Patini. Patini picking up for Johnny LeMaster. Little Joe spent most of the year over at Phoenix. On deck, Bill Lasky. Say up about even with the bag at 3rd, and Fernando into the windup and delivers, and he's low, ball 1. Fernando walked Morgan in the 1st inning. He walked Brenly and LeMaster in the 2nd inning. He walked Smith and Evans in the 3rd inning. He's been kind of bobbing and weaving out there. The next one is low, and he's behind 2-0 to Patini. Fernando taking a little walk on the grass, trying to find out where the strike zone is. He's found it enough times. He has struck out 6. Now the 2-0 pitch to Joe Piccini. A strike. Fastball in there, 2-1. Brilliant sunshine here in San Francisco. No wind. And the next pitch is popped up into that bright blue. Sack's going out, but Monday coming in has the easier play, and Rick makes the catch for the out. So 2 fly balls and 2 out in the 4th. And the pitcher, Bill Lasky, coming up. The Dodgers have the bottom 3 in their lineup in the 5th inning. That means Socia, Russell, and Valenzuela. Fernando on the rubber. Kicks high, comes to the plate, and the pitch is down and away. Ball 1. Lasky was his escape hatch in the 2nd inning. With the bases loaded, nobody out, and Fernando on the ropes. And a run over. He got Lasky to hit into a double play. The 1-0 pitch is sliced foul off to the right out of play, and the count 1-1. Fernando trying to do what he's been unable to do today, and that's retire the side in order. They post the Atlanta run in the 5th inning. So at the end of 4 1/2, Atlanta 1, San Diego 0. The home run by Terry Harper. And there might be a little gamesmanship on the Giants' part because they haven't put anything else up until just now. They also put up the fact that Milwaukee is leading Baltimore 3-1 at the end of 4. Lasky swings and misses 1 and 2 the count. And then, in sheer frustration, he backed out of the box and hit himself on the head with the bat. Luckily, he's wearing a helmet. 1 and 2, they count to Bill Lasky. I don't know where to go. Fernando deals high, ball 2. 2 and 2. I've seen golfers do that with putters, and now I saw Lasky do it with the bat. He hit himself right on the head. Bill, 6'5". Right-hand batter, only 25. Came over from Kansas City. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball got him looking. 7 strikeouts for Fernando. He retired the side in order, and at the end of 4, a 2-2 tie.
5, Monday till 7 p.m. at Great American Federal.
Candlestick and a 2-2 tie. Let's pause for station identification. Proud and beaten in black and blue, but still alive. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
Dodger Baseball is brought to you in part by Don Sanderson Ford. Hear every Dodger game on 620 KTAR Phoenix.
We're going to the 5th inning in a 2-2 tie. Meanwhile, the San Diego Padres have the bases loaded and nobody out in the bottom of the 5th, with Atlanta leading the Padres 1-0. And an almost bizarre occurrence. With a runner at first, the San Diego batter, Broderick Perkins, hit what appeared to be, to the observers, a double play ball. And it hit the umpire. So instead of a double play, there were 2 on and nobody out, and they have now loaded the bases. Mike Socia takes a strike on the outside corner. He fouled out in the 2nd inning. Oh, what a day. Lasky ready and delivers. Socia strokes it down the left field line in the corner, slicing foul and bouncing into the Dodger bullpen. So Mike will come back in the count 0-2. Down in San Diego, a pretty good hitting pitcher, Tim Lawler, is at bat with the bases loaded and nobody out, with Atlanta leading on Terry Harper's home run 1-0. I tell you what, this has to be one of the super days, no matter how it comes out. It's been a nerve-wracking year, but it's been a wonderful year, too. Socia drives one in the air to left center. Venable moving over. Mack's a very good outfielder. Makes the catch for the out. A little guy who can go and get him. 1 down, and Bill Russell the batter. And the count on Tim Lawler in San Diego, 3 balls and 1 strike. How about it if the pitcher walks to force over the tying run? We'll try and keep track of all of it for you. Bill Russell is the batter, and suddenly, Lasky has gotten a second wind. He's retired 8 in a row. Almost hits Russell at the first pitch, ball 1. Fernando out on deck. 1-0, the count to Bill Russell. 3-1, the count to Tim Lawler with the bases loaded and nobody out in San Diego. And they've just walked Tim Lawler. So Lawler walks to force over the run. And the San Diego Padres have tied Atlanta 1-1. They have the bases loaded and nobody out. Rick Camp, who lost to the Dodgers, and he has a 5-game losing streak, is on the mound for Atlanta. Russell takes a strike. 2-1. Peter O'Malley sitting in a dugout seat directly behind the Dodgers, and he might be able to pass along the word to his troops. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Russell takes inside, ball 3, 3-1. However, looking down, we see Peter is rather busy right now, talking to Tony DeMarco, Fernando's agent. 3-1, the count of Bill Russell. Russell waiting, 1 out, bases empty in the 5th, a 2-2 tie. Lasky ready, and the pitch to Russell, a strike. Hey, Peter, Tim Lawler just walked with the bases loaded to force in a run, and San Diego has tied Atlanta 1-1. Nobody out, and the bases still loaded. Russell, it's a ground ball foul outside of third and down the line, and the count 3-2. So not only are the Dodgers alive and tied, Atlanta is tied. And San Diego with a golden opportunity to break the tie, thanks to the double play ball that hit the umpire and gave San Diego first and second. In San Diego, a base hit. And 3 runs scored on the base hit. And San Diego is leading Atlanta 4-1. Ground ball to short, and Russell is out. Holy mackerel. And we're only halfway through the day. The base hit to left field, and the ball went through the legs of Terry Harper. And San Diego has scored 4 times, and they're leading Atlanta 4-1. But the Dodgers have to beat the Giants, and they're tied up 2-2 in the 5th inning. Now Fernando coming up. And the runner who had gotten that base hit went all the way to third. And there's still nobody out, remember. The pitch to Fernando outside, ball 1. What a stroke. The double play ball that hit the umpire. Meanwhile, Fernando takes outside, ball 2. Do you know what? If the Dodgers win and Atlanta loses, there are going to be a lot of people who believe in the big Dodger in the sky, especially after that ground ball. But it's 2-2 up here. The 2-0 pitch to Fernando is a strike. 2-1. A local station here in San Francisco carrying the Atlanta-San Diego game, so there are a lot of folks who are well aware of what's going on down there. Fernando hits a fly ball to Venable, who started back and now comes up to make the catch. And at the end of 4 1/2, a 2-2 tie. A 2-2 tie in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Max Venable, Joe Morgan, and Jack Clark. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. The big blow, Ron Say's home run. And 2 runs, 2 hits for the Giants. The big blow was a double by Jeff Leonard. You know, there are so many subtleties to the Giant-Dodger rivalry. For instance, they didn't put up any score at all on the scoreboard. No score at all until Atlanta scored. They put it up 1-0 Atlanta. Now that San Diego has scored, they have not put up a score. San Diego scored 5 times, and they are leading 5-1. But meanwhile, the Dodgers have to win. Fernando ready, delivers. Fastball strike in the count 0-1. 0-1 to Venable, who struck out twice. Fernando retired the side for the first time today in the 4th inning. The left-hander on his knees as he leans in. He's leaning on his knees. He's not kneeling down. 0-1 the count to Max Venable. Left-hand hitting center fielder, and Fernando's pitch is down and away. Fernando has struck out 7 and walked 5. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball lifted to right field. Monday coming in, looks up into that very bright blue sky and makes the catch. So 1 out in the 5th inning, and Joe Morgan the batter. Morgan walked and popped to short. Now just wonder how long the Giants will go without posting the score on the scoreboard. We'll see. Morgan walked and popped to short. Little Joe is 0 for 1. Fernando standing on the third base side of the rubber. Joe waiting, and Fernando deals. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 0-1. Down in the Giant bullpen, left-hander Gary Lavelle heating up. The Dodgers have Sachs, Landro, and Baker due up in the 6th inning. Now Fernando comes back 0-1. Fastball over. Strike 2 to Joe Morgan. 0-2. Jack Clark on deck. Fernando looks to Socia. The left-hander ready, and the strike 2 pitch is down and away. Gets off Socia's glove. 1-2 the count. The inning is over in San Diego. The Padres settle for 5, and at the end of 5 innings, it is San Diego 5, Atlanta 1. We're in the bottom of the 5th in a 2-2 tie, and Fernando's pitch is down and away. 2-2 the count of Joe Morgan. I'll tell you one thing. He went all the way and pitched a 12-hitter. It's as if he's made 100 pitches already, and we only have 1 out in the 5th inning. Morgan waiting, and the 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball got him swinging, and Morgan goes down on strike. For Fernando, it's a case of feast or famine. He now has 8 strikeouts. And with 2 out in the 5th inning, the batter is Jack Clark, who struck out in the 1st inning and struck out in the 3rd. A 2-2 tie, bottom of the 5th inning. Fernando, left foot on the rubber, looks in to get a sign from Socia, and now comes with a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Jack Clark. Clark caught looking at an 0-2 fastball in the 3rd inning. 2-2, bottom of the 5th, and they're still wishing people happy birthday on the Giants scoreboard rather than put the good news up for the Dodgers. 0-1, the count of Jack Clark. Fernando deals, fastball down and away. 1-1. Valenzuela looking in to get a sign. Clark waiting. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. 1-2. And now they're wishing happy birthday to the San Francisco Police Department. Terrific. To a commander and an inspector. 1-2 the count of Jack Clark. Fernando into the windup and deals, swung on and fouled away off to the right, out of play. So Jack Clark with 2 out, bases empty in the 5th in a 2-2. Fernando looks in to get a sign. To repeat, 5-1 San Diego in the 6th inning. Fernando ready, and his 1-2 pitch is sliced foul off to the right. Very doubtful. Garvey and Socia over, but it's well back into the stand. Still 1-2. In the other big game, that's Milwaukee and Baltimore. At the end of 5 innings, Milwaukee 3, Baltimore 1. Now they're going to give you an update on the big games, finally, on the scoreboard here at Candlestick. And they give the line score, and you'll hear the crowd, because there are a lot of Dodger fans here. Wait a minute, now. And Fernando stops, and Russell turns, and Sachs turns. outside. Ball 2. And the Dodger fans in this crowd, and there are a lot of them, are really stirred up now. Fernando's 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, little nubber in front of the plate. Scioscia has it and throws to Garvey. And at the end of 5, a 2-2 tie. We're going to the 6th inning here at Candlestick Park in a 2-2 tie. The Dodgers, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Giants, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. And Bill Lasky, who had given up a home run to Ron Say to put the Dodgers in front, the Giants gave him the 2 back, and now all even. He'll be pitching to Steve Sachs, Kenny Landreau, and then Dusty Baker. The infield cleaned off by a 4-man crew, and we're about ready to go to the 6th. They're in the 6th inning at San Diego, with the Padres leading Atlanta 5-1. Steve Sachs 0 for 2 against Lasky. Flied to center and nubbed one out in front of the plate, and Ron Pruitt threw him out. Bob Brimley threw him out. So here is Sachs, hitting .283, trying to get something started, as he has done so often during the regular year. And the pitch to Sachs, a strike. Frank Robinson ready to throw the whole ball club at the Dodgers. Milwaukee, meanwhile, leading Baltimore now 4-1 as they've added another. 0-1 the count of Steve Sachs. Lasky turns, big guy delivers, and there's a slicing drive into right center. Max Venable on the dead run makes the running catch. Boy, he is a dandy. That little guy in center, who at one time was in the Dodger organization. He takes an extra base hit away from Steve Sachs. What made it tough, the ball was not only slicing, but the wind is blowing from left to right. But Venable caught up to it. And the batter is Kenny Landreau. Frank Robinson, who didn't like the distance on that ball, is going out to the mound. He has Gary Lavelle down in the pen. The Dodgers with Landreau and Baker. The only thing left for the 82 Giants is to torment the Dodgers. But for most Giants, and particularly for Frank Robinson, that's enough. They'll settle for it. So Robbie going to the mound, and let's see. Normally, Robinson takes his pitcher out after he has made 3 strides from the dugout. And when he walks all the way out to the mound without having waved to the bullpen, he's going to leave him in, and that's what he's doing. So Robinson talking to plate umpire Frank Pooley with 1 out. By the way, Lasky has retired 11 in a row. So after a somewhat wobbly start, he gave up 2 hits to the first 4 batters, a 2-run home run to Ron Say. Lasky has really settled down. And a chant in the stands, beat L.A., beat L.A. The batter, Kenny Landreau, struck out and popped up 0 for 2. Lasky ready and deals, and Landreau hits a little pop fly. Patini going out to get it, and Joe makes the catch. Meanwhile, in San Diego, Tim Lawler has gotten wild. He's walked 2, and they're taking him out of the game. There's 1 out. Braves have runners at first and second on walks, and San Diego leading Atlanta 5-1 in the 6th inning. Dusty Baker, single to right and fouled out. And Big Lasky delivers a strike. 0-1. So the Giants might have worried that he was going to be tired, but he's anything but. And it could very well be the circumstances, the last game, and all the excitement around this game that his adrenaline is pumping. Baker a fly ball to shallow left center, and here comes little Venable to take that one away. And at the end of 5 1/2, the Dodgers have just stopped dead. It's a 2-2 tie. The car, you know there are many different. Bottom of the 6th inning in a 2-2 tie, and as we go to the bottom of the 6th, in this final game of the regular season, and not knowing, of course, how it's going to come out. I would be remiss indeed if I didn't use my final opportunity in this half inning to send along, first of all, our thanks to all the fans on the Dodger Network, and they are considerable, from the Virgin Islands, from Vero Beach to the Hawaiian Islands, and particularly to the good folks in Southern California. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your attendance, for your friendship, for all the fun and excitement we've shared over the years. Reggie Smith takes the strike and the count 0-1. Boy, you really are the best. Nothing like going to Dodger Stadium. And it's been great, no matter how it comes out. Reggie, it's a ground ball to short. Russell picks up that dirt hugger and throws him out. One out in the sixth inning in a 2-2 tie. It is 5-1 San Diego in the sixth. The Braves have runners at first and second, one out, and Luis De Leon will be the pitcher, relieving Tim Lawler. Darrell Evans singled in the second inning and walked in the third. Left-hand hitting third baseman who can also play first base. And Fernando checking. Mike Scioscia wigwagging a couple of signs out. The left-hander kicks and deals, low and away. Ball one. Dodgers 2, Giants 2 in the sixth. Fernando comes right back to Darrell Evans. Breaking ball, foul to the screen, and the count 1-1. Fernando in his third try at 20 against a team that has beaten him 5 straight times. They beat him 5 in a row after he had beaten San Francisco 3 straight. Fernando trying to be the first 20-game winner for the Dodgers since Tommy John in 77, and trying to be only the second 20-game winner this year in either league. Evans hits a high fly ball. Monday went back, now comes in under it and makes the catch. 2 down in the sixth inning, and Jeff Leonard the batter. When the Dodgers hit in the seventh, Steve Garvey, Rick Monday, and Ron Say. Leonard doubled to left and struck out. He's 1 for 2. 2-2, bottom of the sixth inning. The biggest game of the year for a lot of people. 4 teams: the Dodgers, Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Baltimore. So Jeff Leonard, who set up the 2-run second inning with his double, right-hand batter, and Fernando into the windup, and his pitch fouled away. 2 of the 3 giant outfielders were in the Dodger organization. Jeff Leonard, the left fielder, and Max Venable, the center fielder. Fernando ready, and his strike 1 pitch. Fast one down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-2 tie. Atlanta failed to score in the sixth inning, and the pitch to Leonard fouled away. So at the end of 5.5 innings, San Diego 5, Atlanta 1. Boy, this thing is far from being over. The chant again, beat L.A., beat L.A. That's all they got to go for, but it's enough for most of the fans in this capacity crowd. The pitch is just low and outside. Boy, Leonard showed a good eye to take that pitch with 2 strikes, and the count 2-2. The catcher, Bob Brenly, on deck. Mike Scioscia wigwagging a couple of signs out. Fernando ready in the 2-2 pitch. Screwball got him swinging. 9 strikeouts. Well, as far as I'm concerned, for me anyway, in the regular season, it's sure been great. You'll be along in a minute. At the end of 6, a 2-2 tie.
Okay, we go down to the last 3 innings of what might be the last of the season, but on the other hand, we might have some more to play, so we shall see. And it will be Garvey, Mundy, and Say to lead it off against Big Phil Lasky, who's been absolutely superb. He has retired 13 men in a row since Russell singled in the second inning. And in the second, the Dodgers looked like they might have had him on the ropes with a single by Garvey. Mundy hit into a force play, and Say homered. Russell then got a base hit. Valenzuela flied deep to end the inning, and that's all the Dodgers have had. We go to the seventh now. Garvey, who's 1 out of 2. Mundy on deck and Say to follow. In a 2-2 tie, and the Dodgers are being presented an opportunity, apparently, by the San Diego Padres, who are winning 5-1 down south and batting in the 6th inning. And what appeared to be a double play ball bounced up and hit the umpire, and the ball stayed in play, and the Padres parlayed that into a 5-run inning. Garvey swings a fly ball to right field, and Clark has a play, circling under it, and makes the catch to the out. So 1 pitch, 1 away. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
You're listening to Dodger Baseball, sponsored in part by your Safeway Supermarkets. This is your Dodger station, KTAR Phoenix.
Here's Rick Mundy at bat. Hit into a force play, grounded to second base. He's 0 for 2. So Lasky has kept him in check. Ron Say is on deck. We're in the 7th inning, and the ball game is tied at 2-2. The Giants picked up 2 in the last half of the 2nd inning on a single, a double, and 2 walks, and a double play ball. Now the pitch on the way, taken low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 to Mundy. Had a grand slam home run in the first game of the series here. Yesterday, the Dodgers had runs anytime they wanted them nearly. But they need some today, and desperately. Here's the pitch to Mundy, taken outside for a ball, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Say is on deck, and Socha to follow. Boy, the media is covering this one like a World Series game. Look at the cameras down there. Wow. Press box is jammed. The 2-0 pitch to Mundy. Takes a strike, and it's 2-1. Fernando has struck out 9. He has walked 5. Lasky has struck out 2. He has walked none. 4 hits for the Dodgers, 2 hits for the Giants. The 2-1 pitch to Mundy. Inside, ball 3. That one bounced off the catcher's glove and struck umpire Pulley on the leg. Padres go out in the 6th inning, but they're leading 5-1 going to the 7th with De Leon trying to hold back the Braves. Well, I'll tell you one thing, the Dodgers can get into more situations than you ever thought about, huh? Can't they? Wow. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Mundy. Foul back over the top. 3-2. Beckwith begins to throw in the Dodger bullpen. Is the count. Mundy waiting. We're in the 7th inning with 1 away. And Lasky ready to go. Big Bill sets. Here's the look and the pitch on the way to Mo. Fly ball to left field down the line, and he hit it deep near the pole. This ball is going to be just fouled and deep into the stands in left field. So Mundy taking a shot the other way, hit it just foul down into the left field corner. He'll come back to try again on a 3-2 count. Leonard was playing him well off the line that time. So Mundy waiting 3-2. Big Bill Lasky ready to go with it now. The 3-2 pitch on the way to Mundy. Foul over the screen again, and the count holding 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the 7th inning. A 2-2 tie. And it's decision day here at Candlestick Park. 3-2. Lasky shakes off a sign from Brindley, working to Mundy with 1 away and the pitch on the way. Ground ball hit up the middle, a base hit for Mundy. Mundy snapped the string of 14 in a row retired by Lasky. And that brings on Ron Say, who homered his first time up, struck out his second time up, and the Giant bullpen gets busy again. Gary Lavelle, who was throwing in the last inning, is up. He began to throw after Sachs hit the fly ball deep to center field to open up the 6th inning. Here's Say at bat. His 24th home run of the year came in the 2nd inning with Mundy on base. So with 1 out, we have the same situation. Mundy on base and Say the batter, with Mike Socha due next and then Russell. Niedenfuhr is up in the Dodger pen now. Almost a wild pitch and a good backhanded save by Brindley. Niedenfuhr is just standing on top of the bullpen hill. And they're going to have him start throwing now. Yeager goes down to get loose. It might be they're thinking of hitting for Socha in case Robinson is going to make a switch if Say gets on. So you're kind of looking ahead to see what's going on here. But Yeager's down there to play catch and get loose. He's playing catch with Dave Sachs. One ball and no strike count to Say, and almost a wild pitch. Lasky up with the arms and the pitch to Say. Half swing for a strike. 1-1 to Ronnie. He was called out on a check swing in the fourth inning, and the umpire at first base, Crawford, was the one who called him out. Socha due next. A 1-1 count. Mundy moves off, and there's a drive to right, a base hit. Here's Mundy going to second base and holding as Clark, with a good arm, fires it back in. So Ron Say singles, and here comes Robinson, and we'll see if he's going to make a change now and bring in the left-hander to pitch to Socha, who may not hit because Yeager, as we told you, gone down to the left field bullpen area to warm up. And Robinson walking out slowly, and it might be that he's going after Lasky, and he'll bring in the more experienced pitcher Lavelle, and that is exactly what he's going to do. Say punched the ball in the hole to right field for a base hit. And that will be the end of Lasky here, and the Dodgers trying to mount a threat. It might also be the end of Socha with Say on, and Morales is in the on-deck circle with the bat in his hand. Well, the big guy comes out, takes his cap off to a standing ovation. He's pitched very, very well. The young man has had a great year. Bill Lasky, who was 13-12 with an earned run average of .315, and all of the Giant players come out of the dugout to give him a pat on the back. He certainly battled, and he's out into the dugout now with a standing ovation. The Giants are gathered around the mound, and Gary Lavelle will come on now. Lavelle on the year is 10-7. He's making his 68th appearance, and his earned run average is .267. He has 8 saves. Lavelle has 104 innings of work and 31 earned runs. He has given up 6 home runs, walked 29, and struck out 76. So Lavelle has been a key man out of the bullpen for the Giants. And, of course, they still have Minton down there, even though they used Al Holland to extreme yesterday. They have Minton, the ace, left if the Dodgers have to face anybody else out of that bullpen. And Jose Morales now will bat for Socha. And we'll check out Jose's numbers as he comes to the plate. Morales, a .276 average, and as a pinch hitter, 8 for 29 with 1 home run and 8 runs batted in. So Morales, a pretty good pinch hitting average. We'll try to get the Dodgers out in front of the ball game, and we have a right-hander throwing in the bullpen down there, and that should be Minton getting up now for San Francisco. Meanwhile, down south, with the Padres leading 5-1, the Braves have 2 on in the 7th inning with nobody out. Okay, Lavelle is about ready to go. The other score of importance is in the bottom of the 6th inning with Milwaukee leading 4-1. Don Sutton and Palmer has come out. Martinez is in there now. So there are 3 games of vital importance in the baseball race on this last day. Here's Morales at bat, Russell to follow, and then we'll see about Fernando. They may hit for him if they get something going. Morales to bat for Socha. So here's Jose at bat. The infield comes to double play depth as Gary Lavelle, veteran left-hander, ready to go to work. Here's the pitch on the way to Jose. Swing and a miss. Fastball, strike 1. So Morales hasn't had a whole lot of time to bat. He's had 8 hits in 29 pinch hit appearances. Got a base hit against Atlanta in the 10-3 win in Los Angeles on Thursday. 1 strike count to Jose. Braves are trying to rally in San Diego against De Leon. Now the stretch by Lavelle, the look back, and the pitch on the way to Morales. High and away for a ball, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers and Giants, and boy, don't they put on a show. Here's the 1-1 look, and Lavelle's pitch to Morales. Popped up foul off to the right side. It'll carry into the seats out of play. So he hit a curveball and took it inside out down the right field line. A 1-2 count to Morales. The check again, and the pitch on the way to Jose. Loop foul again to right field, down behind the bullpen. The Braves have loaded the bases in the 7th inning with nobody out, and they're down by a score of 5-1, 4 runs behind. A grand slammer would get them even. So don't go wandering off. It's the final day of the season, maybe. 1-2 count to Morales. Here's Lavelle's pitch, in low for a ball with a fastball around the knees, and it is 2-2. So after several breaking balls, he changes the pattern to Morales and comes with a fastball, and he took it low and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Jose looks at ball 3 outside. Fastball running away. Now will the Dodgers gamble and run? Not a lot of speed out there with Mundy and Say on the bases. And a 3-2 count to a hitter who might be a strikeout man. And we'll see how they go. Runners trying to edge away now. Mundy getting a pretty good lead. They try to hold him on. Here's the pitch. They're not going. And it's a line drive down the right field line. Just fouled. Caught in the bullpen down there by one of the guys backing up and protecting Minton. So Morales tried to shoot it to right field. Fouled it away by about 5 feet. Here comes Frank Robinson. He didn't like that. And it might be he's going to go to Greg Minton right now with a 3-2 count on Morales. How about that? Robinson's coming out. And he's going to talk to the plate umpire, Pulley, as he comes out. He stops and talks to Pulley. And I think he is asking something about, if I bring in this pitcher, can they turn Morales? I take Morales out and put in a left-hand hitter. I think that's what he is asking umpire Pulley. So Robinson now will walk to the plate mound. He got his answer from the plate umpire, Frank Pulley. And now Doug Harvey, the second base umpire, is coming in, and they might even go to a higher court to consult him. The question, I think, is, if I bring in a right-hand pitcher with a count of 3-2, can they change the hitter? Of course, they ought to be able to change the hitter anytime they want to. If the pitcher comes in, he's got to pitch to 1 batter. And he has not pitched to 1 batter yet. They're going to call another meeting. All the umpires are going to have a meeting. Maybe it'll be the other way around. He might want to know, can I change my pitcher now on a 3-2 count? The relief pitcher is supposed to come in and pitch to 1 batter. But he has not completed his pitch to 1 batter. And the 4 umpires are holding a meeting off on the first base side. So we don't know what's going on out there. And Robinson stopped and asked the plate umpire. And it has something to do with whether he can take the pitcher out in this situation. The rule says when a relief pitcher comes in, he should pitch to 1 batter. Unless, of course, he gets hurt. All right, whatever it is, the 4 umpires held a meeting to the right of the mound. Robinson gets his answer. And Lasorda, I think, asked something from the bench, and Pulley just shakes his hand and says, forget about it. Whatever it is doesn't count. So Robinson goes walking back into the dugout. And a 3-2 count to Morales with 2 men on. So whatever that was all about, they'll have to wait and find out later. All right, it's 3-2 to Morales. And here's Lavelle ready. The pitch on the way. The runners go. Bouncing ball to third. It'll be a foul ball. So they'll go back and start over again as Morales chopped one down the third baseline to Evans. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Dodgers tied with the Giants in the 7th inning. Pinch hitter Jose Morales trying to open it up here with Mundy at second base and Say is at first. And Lavelle's pitch, the runners go, and it's fouled back again. And Say got a late start. Boy, he would have been nailed had that been strike 3. Mundy got a good start, but Say did not. They could have thrown him out. So they'll back up and go again. As Morales keeps fouling them off and the pressure keeps mounting here. Bill Russell is on deck, and Fernando due to follow. Niedenfjord just standing, arms folded, down in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Giant bullpen people all watching now. 3-2 and a fake at second base, no play. All right, here it is. 3-2 again. They go again, and a high chopper out toward Morgan. He'll have to hurry. Lost it in the center. The bases are loaded. Morales beats it out as a high chopper down off home plate. Morgan came in to field it and lost the ball in the sun. He flinched and lost it. And here comes Robinson now, and we'll see about Lavelle. It will be an infield single for Jose Morales to load the bases as he chopped it down on home plate and had the ball bounce high to Morgan out behind the mound. And Little Joe came in, tried to catch the ball, and then flinched at the last minute, and he just covered the ball and sat down on the ground behind the mound. It is a base hit for Morales to load up the bases, and now Robinson's going to make the pitching change, and he'll bring in Minton to pitch to Russell, and Bradley goes in to run at first base for Morales. So the Dodgers got a big break on a ball hit into the sun on a high hopper. The base is loaded. Bradley a runner at first. And Billy Russell will be the batter with Fernando Valenzuela to follow. And the update from down south, Atlanta batting in the 7th inning and trailing 5-1. The bases loaded, 1 out. Here's Minton coming on to replace Lavelle in the 7th inning. Minton has really frustrated the Dodgers this year many times. Minton coming on. Meanwhile, down south, the Braves loaded the bases with nobody out, and Dravecki came in and got him out. They got a force out at the plate on Linares. Horner popped up, and Washington struck out. So Dave Dravecki puts the Braves down in the 7th inning, and it is 5-1 going to the bottom of the 7th. And here is Greg Minton, the best relief pitcher they have on the Giants staff. 9 wins, 4 losses, 30 saves, earned run average of 1.80, and Russell will be the batter. Fernando due next. The Dodgers are short a couple people, you'll remember. Guerrero can't play. Renicky is questionable. Lavelle leaves. Lasky worked to 6 1/3 innings. Lavelle, none. Okay, here's Bill Russell, who has been the clutch hitter for the Dodgers all year long. He has 1 for 2 today. The Giants bring the infield in. Dodgers trying to get the big run here now with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th inning. 3 hits in the inning after garbage leadoff fly ball to deep right field. And Bill Russell has been in the spotlight many, many times for the Dodgers, in there right now. And Minton out of a stretch. Here's the look. Checks and pitches to Russell. Down low, ball 1. Fernando is out on deck. His fate is in Russell's hands right now. If Russell could drive in a couple, Fernando would stay in the game. If Russell does not, makes out, then they might hit for Fernando. Russell waiting. Giants play him in. Minton ready. The 1-0 look, and his pitch on the way to Billy. Way outside, ball 2, almost a wild pitch. 2-0 the count. The Dodgers involved in a nail-biter again. Boy, oh boy, it's been one thing after the other. Not only this year, but down through the years. 2-0 the count to Russell. The arm stretched by Minton. Here's the look. Billy waits, and the pitch. Strike call. He's taking one. Making throw a strike. That's the old adage in a spot like this. So now he has that strike. Let's see what they do now. Would they squeeze? Well, I don't know. He's a pretty good bunter up there, and Evans is laying back. Let's see how they go now. 2-1 to count to Russell. The arm stretch, the look. And the squeeze is on, and he fouled it away. Russell fouled it down. Okay, now Russell will have to do something else with the ball. It's a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Niedenfuhr throwing now in the bullpen. He's warming up for sure now. 2-2 to Russell with the bases loaded here in the 7th. A big chance for the Dodgers. And Greg Minton trying to cut him off. He might be pitching his last game as a Giant. The 2-2 look. Minton taking a lot of time. A sign from Brinley. And the stretch and the look. Runner's edge off. Here's the look, and here's the pitch. Fouled away out of play upstairs to the right. Russell trying to shoot it to right field. Russell, as far as sacrifice flies are concerned, has 4. Fans are chanting, beat L.A., beat L.A., beat L.A. They would like something better than to put the Dodgers away here this afternoon. A 2-2 tie, and here's the 2-2 pitch. On the way to Russell, struck him out. He went for a low sinker, and down he goes. Well, Russell strikes out. Fernando's called back, and the Dodgers missed a chance there as Minton threw him a big sinker and struck him out. Now George Orta's going to get the call. Orta will come on and try to get the base hit to give the Dodgers the lead, and Fernando is out. So Fernando worked 6 innings, gave up 2 runs and 2 hits, struck out 9, walked 5, and pitched a gem of a ball game. Retired the last 10 men in a row, and here's Orta coming on. Well, Morales, a pinch hitter, delivered. Now here comes Don McMahon, the pitching coach, to deliver some words of wisdom to the pitcher, Greg Minton, who had Billy Russell apparently chase a ball that might have been in the dirt. Billy went after that low one, chased it, and he missed it. So Billy, who's been in so many tight spots, unable to get the run in, and he had fouled off the squeeze bunt. The Giants having another meeting at the mound, and Orta is 9 for 59, and he has 1 home run as a pinch hitter and 5 runs batted in. So George Orta coming on. Minton has allowed only 5 home runs in 120 innings this year. All right, here comes Orta. The base is loaded. 3 straight hits by Monday, Say, and pinch hitter Morales. And again, the fans chanting, beat L.A., beat L.A. Well, they're tied with L.A., and L.A. trying to open it up here, and they have Orta, the band now, trying to do it. Russell went after a bad one as Minton, with his good sinker, threw one low, and he chased it. Here's Orta. George waiting, bases loaded. The arm stretch on the look, and Minton backs off. Well, we're down to this, the 7th inning, a 2-2 tie. The Dodgers waiting for Orta now to see if he can do something. The pitch on the way. Down low, ball 1. 1-0 the count, that sinker, and Minton throws it low. Minton has pitched well against the Dodgers this year. Orta at bat, bases loaded. Mundy at third, Say at second, Bradley at first base. Here's the arm stretch on the look. Minton ready, and the pitch on the way to Orta. High for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. He went 2-0 to Russell, and then got him. Now he's 2-0 to Orta, who will probably be up there with the same old adage, make him throw a strike. Fernando goes out. He pitched very well, except for that lapse in the 2nd inning. The 2-0 pitch to Orta. Will they green light him? No. Take the strike, 2-1. The Giants bullpen all year has really saved them, and they're calling on Minton to try to do it here today. 2-1 now, Orta waiting. The arm stretch and the look, And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike two. So Greg Minton coming on and going 2-2 to order after striking out Russell with the bases loaded. The Dodgers tried to squeeze, but it was fouled away, and now the fans are really in a lather. 2-2 to order, 2 outs, and the bases are loaded. Dodgers maybe their best chance of all. They go home for a playoff. Now the 2-2 look, and the pitch. Fouled away. Fouled into the mask of Bob Brindley, and Orta's still up there. Silent George, they call him. He's the quietest man you'll ever be around. He's trying to make a lot of noise with his bat right now. And the chant goes again. Beat L.A., beat L.A. 49,518 here today. 2-2, 2 outs. Minton peers in for a sign. And he's set again. Orta waits at the plate. Here's the look, and here's the pitch. Bouncing ball toward Morgan. He has it. And number hit. Fifth inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the seventh with a score 2-2.
Frenzy's been part of the Dodger family for over 30 years. 0012. Send in your subscription today. You'll be glad you did.
Well, we go along into the last half of the seventh inning, and the Dodgers missed a big chance there with the bases loaded and 1 out, but that caps up the season. They've done that so many times this year that it's not news anymore, and here on the last day of the year, they do it one more time, and we'll see if it'll turn out to be fatal. Now we have a new battery, Steve Yeager behind the plate, and Tom Niedenfuhr comes on to take over the pitching. Fernando has gone to the clubhouse, and Fernando thwarted again in his effort to win number 20. He winds up this year with 19 wins and 13 losses. And here is the catcher, Bob Brindley, coming on now. This place is a madhouse. So here is Tom Niedenfuhr, 3 wins, 3 losses, making his 55th appearance, and catcher Bob Brindley at bat. And the Giant fans really gave Minton a standing ovation when he came off after that job. Patini is due next, and then the pitcher spot. No one throwing in the Giant bullpen. So apparently he's going to stay with Minton. Here's a breaking ball low, and the count is 1-1 to Brindley. Terry Forster's throwing in the Dodger pen down in left field. Last half of the seventh, the Dodgers boarded again. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brindley. The rookie catcher swings a ground ball up the middle. Russell can't get it. The base hit to center field. That is only the 3rd hit for the Giants today. And here's Patini being called back. And Champ Summers is going to swing the bat for Patini. And again the chant, beat L.A., beat L.A. And Champ Summers now, the 2 hitter coming on. As Niedenfuhr gives up a single, a ground ball just up the middle. Just out of the reach of Russell. The Giants will send an infielder down to warm up, Guy Soulars. Summers will be the hitter, a left-hand pinch hitter. He's done a pretty good job for the Giants this year. Summers, 9 hits in 30 pinch hit appearances, including 2 home runs and 11 runs batted in. But the Dodgers really missed a beautiful chance in the top of the inning. And Frank Robinson took out Lasky, brought in Lavelle, took out Lavelle, and brought in Minton, and he got the job done. They're not playing for the bunt. The pitch to Summers, grounded foul, just foul down the line. Garvey was right on the line. If it's a fair ball, it's a double play. So Summers coming up, and he had a big rip right away. The Braves do not score in the 8th inning. They are losing 5-1, but the Dodgers couldn't score in the 7th inning, and they're tied at 2-2. Wow. Can you stand it? I don't know. A 0-1 count to Summers. Here's the pitch on the way. Strike 2. Fastball is in there. The pitcher, Minton, is due up next. No one throwing in the Giant bullpen, so Robinson apparently is not going to take Minton out of the game. Strike 2 count to Summers. Tom Niedenfuhr. Set again. And the pitch. Fly ball to right field. Down in the corner. And it's going to be off the wall. Here's the runner around third. He is going to be held up on a long double. A double off the right field wall. And Brenly is stopped at third base by Coach Jimmy Davenport. Sam Summers a double down the right field line. And now the Dodgers are in real trouble as Niedenfuhr gives up a single and a double. Summers doubles to right. Lasorda going to the mound. He has Forster in the bullpen, and we'll see what he will do. Minton is due up next, standing out on deck. But Summers, the left-hand hitter, whacked that ball against the right field fence. And Davenport stops the runner Brenly at third base on a strong throw from Mundy to Garvey, and they might have had him at the plate had he tried to come on. Now we'll see about Minton. He's going to stay in and hit. The on-deck hitter will be Venable. The Giants have a pinch runner going in, I'm sure, as Summers comes out. He whacked that ball hard to right field, and they're going to have a pinch runner Soulars go out to run for him. For the seventh inning, Soulars will run. The Giants are trying to put the Dodgers out. As the Dodgers fail to score in the top of the seventh inning, while the Padres doing their best to help out down south, and the Dodgers unable to help themselves here, and they are in a tough spot. Minton bats from the left side. Niedenfuhr to the windup. The infield is in. And the pitch on the way. Foul back out of play. See what kind of a hitter Minton is for the year. Minton has 1 RBI. He has 3 hits in 16 at-bats. Venable is on deck. Forster warming up. A 2-2 tie in the last of the seventh. 2 on and nobody out. The pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 to Minton. He was trying to be the hero all by himself. He did a great job on checking the Dodgers in the top of the inning on striking out Russell, and he got Orta on a ground out. The last day, the last few innings of the season right here. The 0-2 count. Minton waits. Here's the pitch. Foul out of play. Strike 2 is still the count to Minton. A single by Brenly just through the infield. A line drive double by Summers off the right field wall. Brenly was stopped at third. All right, Minton backs out. Well, the Dodgers had the bases loaded with 1 out of the top of the inning, couldn't score. Now the Giants trying to break through. Here's Niedenfuhr ready, the pitch. Foul straight back, and boy, he's having some rips up there against Tom. He's swinging away. Tom Niedenfuhr backs off, goes down behind the hill. 0-2 the count to Minton with nobody out, runners at second and third. Here's the look now, the check and the pitch. A little high for a ball. 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Ex-Dodger Max Venable on deck. And the pitch. Struck him out. Low curveball. Got him on strike. And here comes Tom Lasorda now. And we'll see if he's going to make a change and bring in Forster with 2 left-hand batters coming up. He got Minton on strikes on a slow curveball, and Lasorda now coming to the hill. He has Terry Forster throwing in the pen. And he's going to go to Forster right now. The pitch to Venable, maybe. And then Morgan. And while they make the pitching change, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network. Oh, what a day. Well, Terry Forster will come on, and he's in the pressure cooker. 5 wins, 6 losses, 2.9 earned run average, 55 games and 3 saves in a tie game, and Jim Wolford will come on as the pinch hitter. Wolford is hitting .257. 5-for-26 as a pinch hitter with 3 runs batted in. And the Dodgers play the infield in. Morgan is on deck and Clark to follow. And Steve Howe now is throwing in the pen along with Joe Beckwith. A 2-2 tie and the Dodgers in jeopardy here in the 7th. Forster looking over, checking the defense. Puts the ball in the air. Now comes to the rubber. Now out of a stretch, waiting. And the pitch to Wolford. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 0-1 the count. Terry Forster on top of the hill again. A 2-2 tie. The Dodgers missed out in their half, and they're trying to keep the Giants away in the bottom half. Here's the look and the pitch to Wolford. Foul out of play, and Forster is quickly ahead, strike 2. 0-2 the count to Jim Wolford. Infield in. Trying to hold that runner at third base. 0-2. Again the stretch and the look. And the pitch on the way. Struck him out. A swing and a miss for Wolford. 2 away now. Wolford goes down on strike. So Forster gets a strike out, and here's Joe Morgan. Little Joe has walked, popped up, and struck out. So they've got to get by Morgan now and keep the Giants where they are. Danny Ozark trying to move Landreau a bit in center field, wants him to come up a little bit. All right, here is Morgan waiting. 2 outs, runners at second and third. Forster ready to go to Little Joe. The pitch on the way, high, ball 1. On deck is Jack Clark, so you can't be fooling around. Left-hander's got to go after the left-hander. Joe Beckwith throwing in the Dodger pen along with Steve Howe. A 1-ball and no strike count to Morgan. Trying to ruin the Dodger season right here. He's ruined a lot of seasons. He's broken a lot of hearts, and he's had some great, great years. Here's the look, and here's the pitch on the way. A strike on a fastball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's really tough to remain calm in a spot like this. I don't think too many people are calm. How do you feel? 1-1, and the pitch. Foul back, out of play. Strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes to Morgan. Forster gets a new ball, looks it over. The last day of the regular season. Will the Dodgers go to another playoff as they did in 1980? Or will they pack the bags and go home? Well, it might depend on one swing of the bat by Little Joe right now. 1-2. Forster ready, trying to get him. Here's the look, and he backs off. All right, Forster ready again. Yeager giving out the signs. He wants to make sure he calls the right pitch. Here's Forster set at the belt. And the pitch on the way. Fly ball to right field, deep. Back goes Mundy. This ball is gone. Home run for Morgan. one out. The Padres win down south 5-1. And it's 5-2 here as Morgan slammed one over the right field fence. Jack Clark, a bouncer wide of third. Say has it, throws in time. The inning is over, but the damage is done. Joe Morgan, his 14th home run of the year, a line drive over the right field fence, and that turns the game around in the Giants' favor 5-2 at the end of 7. Joe Morgan has really caused mass hysteria here at Candlestick Park. He hit that strike two pitch over the right field fence, a line shot, and it turned everything around, scrambled the whole game, and Terry Forster described it all as he stood at the mound and just tossed his glove high in the air, and he just couldn't believe it. And now they're putting it on the scoreboard, a final, San Diego 5, Atlanta 1, but it might be too late for the Dodgers. They got the help they wanted, but they didn't help themselves. They had the bases loaded in the top of the 7th inning. Couldn't get the run in. It was with one out. And now we'll see if they can come back again. They will start with Sachs, Landreau, and Baker against a guy who may be one of the best relief pitchers in the league, in Greg Minton. Tom Niedenfuer gave up a single and a double to open the inning. Forster came on after Niedenfuer had struck out pitcher Minton. And then Forster got Wolford, but he couldn't get Morgan. He got ahead of him, and he hit it out. So Joe Morgan, who had a great and colorful career, might have ended the Dodger season. Sachs tries to bunt, fouls it away, strike one. Joe Morgan, who was twice an MVP while playing with Cincinnati. Well, he really brought them to their feet here. He's had 246 career home runs. And they're really chatting now, beat L.A. As Morgan slammed one. The Dodgers have 6 outs left to them, and the Padres will be watching the TVs and listening to the radio in San Diego, hoping they can go on to St. Louis and start the playoffs on Wednesday. Giants lead 5-2. The Dodgers won the first 2 games to stay alive, but now they have to really get going. Sachs a bunt try foul, and now he's back in there again as Minton set and the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, and it's strike 2. Minton came on and struck out Russell with the bases loaded, and got Orta on a ground ball to Morgan. And a ground single by Brenly, a pinch double by Summers, and the home run by Morgan with 2 out and 2 on in the 7th inning. All right, it's strike 2. Sachs behind the count. Had a hit today. Fouls it away out of play, and the count is still strike 2 to Sachs. So the Giants, who saw the Dodgers knock them out on Saturday, are now trying to knock the Dodgers out on Sunday. It is strike 2 to Sachs. The Dodgers with 2 runs, 7 hits. The Giants 5 runs and 5 hits. 3 of those in the 7th. Sachs fouls it away on the ground, and the count is still strike 2. So we've gone down to the last hour of the baseball season. The Padres have won their game. The Dodgers are behind now, and Baltimore is losing 5-1 to Milwaukee at home. The 0-2 pitch. Sachs waits. Greg Minton, as tough as they come, the windup and the pitch on the way. Outside and low for a ball. Minton has 30 saves, 9 wins, so he's been involved in a lot of decisions for San Francisco. And Robinson wouldn't hit for him when he had runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 7th inning. Wanted to leave him in because he's the best that he has left. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Sachs. Ground ball right side. Morgan over, scoops it up, throws, and gets it. 1 down in the 8th, and here's Landreau. He's 0 for 3 this afternoon. Landreau talking to Baker on deck before he goes up there. Dusty due up next. The Dodgers, of course, will think back to the 8-game losing streak during the last few days of the season. Then they recovered, but now they are in a spot where they really have to recover again. Down to their last 5 outs in San Francisco. 5-2, Giants lead. Dodgers have had a couple of chances, but the only one that really was of any consequence was in the top of the 7th inning. Bases loaded, and 1 out. Here's the pitch. Landreau takes high, ball 1. Baker is on deck, and Garvey to follow. 1-0. Giants 5, Dodgers 2, top of the 8th. Minton ready, delivers to Landreau. A bouncer foul on the first base line. And it is 1 ball and 1 strike. The Dodgers in the 2nd inning got a single from Garvey, a force out by Mundy, and a home run by Say. They led 2-0. Fernando didn't hold it long as Evans singled, Leonard doubled, and the next 2 batters walked to force in a run. Lasky hit into a double play to tie the game. And it stayed that way until the last of the 7th. Leadoff single by Brenly, a double by pinch hitter Summers, and the 2-out home run on strike 2 to Joe Morgan. That's about as close as you can get to it. Here's the 1-1 look, and the pitch on the way. Landreau takes high, ball 2, 2-1. So the Dodgers will have to hope they can come back now, or it's all done. Oh, win, lose, or draw. It's been quite a season and quite a race. Here's the pitch. Landreau, a fly ball to left center field, and a long run for Leonard. Circling now, the wind has it. He can't get it. It drops down. And Landreau's at second base on the play. A long, high fly ball, and Wolford and Leonard went for the ball, and it fell just beyond the grasp of Leonard. And Landreau will be given a 2-base hit. As that ball got up in the air, and the wind seemed to hold it away from Leonard, and he couldn't get to it. Here's Baker at bat, and the Dodgers got a glimmer of hope on a break on a fly ball into left center field that might have been caught. So here's Dusty. He is 1 for 3. Garvey is on deck, and Mundy to follow. Top of the 8th inning, 5-2 Giants. And the Dodgers got a little glimmer there, a little break, as Landreau's fly ball is not caught in the San Francisco outfield. Baker, a .299 batting average. Trying to pick up Landreau and get on there and give Garvey a shot to tying it up. Here's Minton out of a stretch. And the look, and the pitch to Baker. Foul out of play, strike 1. Hit down the right field line, way back into the stands. Strike 1 count to Baker. Getting right down to the final innings now. One strike count to Baker. A little break there. We'll see if the Dodgers can keep it going. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Minton leans looking for a sign. Set, and the pitch on the way. Dusty, line drive, base hit left field. Down in the corner. Here comes Landreau. Baker will go for 2. The ball gets away from Wolford in the corner. Baker will hold. It's 5-3 with Garvey coming to bat. Dusty Baker hits one down the left field line, a double. And now it's Garvey with a chance to tie the game. He has singled, flied to left, flied to right. Mundy is on deck, and Say to follow, and it's 5-3. Well, don't go wandering away. The Dodgers are trying to get out of that corner they've been in so many, many times this year. Garvey has not hit a home run against the Giants this year. But he's had 14 runs batted in and is hitting .355 against them. So Garvey now facing Minton. The Dodgers with a couple of doubles here. One, a fly ball that fell in. The next one, a line drive. Garvey now trying to bring Baker around. Mundy is on deck. Minton wants Brenly to go through the signs again. The wind, what there is of it, is drifting in toward left field. Minton up with the arms. Garvey waits at the plate. Here's the look and the pitch on the way to Garvey. Line drive foul down the right field line. He sliced it to right, trying to take a shot to right field with the flags blowing across that way. Mundy on deck. 9 hits for the Dodgers, but only 3 runs. And the big blow for the Giants, a 3-run homer by Joe Morgan in the bottom of the 7th inning. All right. It is strike 1 to Garvey. The Dodgers are going down with all guns blazing here. They're trying to come back. The 0-1 look. Minton leans in looking for a sign. Garvey calls time and backs out. Oh, and 1 now. Garvey back in again. Tried to drive it somewhere and keep the rally alive. Here's the look by Minton and the pitch to Garvey. Almost hit him. Backed him out of there with a fastball, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Free. Giants lead in the 8th. Greg Minton set again. Garvey waiting at the plate. The pitch to Garvey. Swing and a miss, but an off-speed pitch. 1-2. Now there are those who wonder if this might be Garvey's last time at bat in the Dodger uniform. 1-2. Steve waits. Backs out. Minton toes the rubber. Garvey back in again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Baker on second. 5-3. Tying runners at the plate. And here's Minton up with the arms. The pitch to Garvey. Strike 3 ball. With a fastball on the outside corner. Strikeout number 2 for Minton. Picked up Russell earlier. Now here is Rick Mundy coming on. Well, Mundy now tried to keep it alive, and he has singled, grounded out, hit into a force out. Mundy, whose grand slam home run on Friday was the difference in a 4-0 game, now at bat with 2 down in the 8th inning at the tying run at the plate. Baker at second base, Ron Say on deck, and Yeager to follow. So it's 5-3. Giants lead on the strength of Joe Morgan's line drive home run over the right field fence off Terry Forster. Here's Mundy waiting. Oh, has 11 home runs, 42 runs batted in, and Minton doesn't give up many home runs. He set us almost a record for a long string of innings without home runs. Delivers low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Mundy. Say due next, if Mundy can keep it alive. Robinson and Buford standing out in front of the Giant bench. Baker off second base. Time called. Piece of paper out in front of home plate, and umpire Frank Pulley goes out to pick it up. Top of the 8th, 5-3 San Francisco. Here's the stretch again in the look. The 1-0 pitch to Mundy. Bouncing ball out toward Morgan, and cut it off as Minton throws to first and gets it. A high chopper, and Minton came down off the mound to field it, and the Dodgers are gone in the 8th. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. They go to the bottom of the 8th in a moment with the score 5-3 San Francisco.
When the basketball team showed up, you couldn't believe it. Their shortest guard looked like your center's big brother. Confidently, they suggested Michelob Light for the winners. Bravely, you replied, fellas, kiss your winning streak goodbye. Michelob Light, there's nothing quite like that rich, smooth taste of Michelob Light. It's Michelob Light, Michelob Light, Michelob Light, Michelob Light. Your winner is Michelob Light. You whipped him. It was right out of David and Goliath, because your team wasn't just after a win. You were after the rich, smooth taste of Michelob Light. Here's to the winners. Michelob Light, compare the taste to any beer you like. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
The Giesenslaw brothers for Hormel Chili. If you're going to get store-bought chili, don't buy that chili willy-nilly, Billy. That's downright silly. It is. Well, you want Hormel. I do. Then they swell. It does. You want the brand that's close to home with the same good stuff that you put in your own. Did you say my own? I said pretty close, Billy. Hormel chili. It's the next best thing to homemade.
the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 5-3 in favor of San Francisco, and Reggie Smith starts it off with Evans and Leonard to follow. Against Terry Forster, who gave up the home run to Joe Morgan. Fastball to Smith, a fly ball to center. Landreau coming up for it and makes the running catch for the out. So one pitch, one away in the bottom of the 8th inning. For Terry Forster, ironically, it was only the 3rd home run that he has given up all year in 81 innings plus. Here is Evans at bat, a single, a walk, and a fly out. So the Giants and the Dodgers scrapping it out here. And for the Giants, they're trying to even the season series. The Dodgers have won 9, the Giants have won 8. Evans is the batter. Bergman goes to the bullpen to throw to come in and play first for Smith in the ninth. Forster's pitch to the left-hand batter is down low for a ball. Forster, I'm sure, was trying to get that ball down to Morgan, and he got it up a little bit, and he got a fastball, and he whacked it out. A 1-0 pitch. Evans takes inside. Ball 2, 2-0. Darrell Evans. The Braves have lost. The Dodgers are losing. And the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, 2-1. But for one little pitch, and I'm sure that Terry Forster would spend all winter trying to get that pitch back. The one that he threw to Morgan. Brindley had singled off Niedenfuhr. Here's a swing and a miss for Evans, strike 2. And Champ Summers, the pinch hitter, had doubled off Niedenfuhr, and that really got things scrambled. Niedenfuhr then struck out Minton. Forster came in and struck out Wolford, but Morgan touched him for the home run on a 1-2 count. The pitch. Evans takes low for a ball, and it's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jeff Leonard is on deck. The Dodgers have had 15 runs yesterday, didn't put enough in the bank for today. Up to now, they have only 3, and it's been the same story. The LOBs left on base. Evans fouls one away to the right. The Dodgers scrambled the inning in the 7th inning when they had the bases loaded with 1 out and didn't score. Had they been able to get the run in, the squeeze bunt was fouled away by Russell, who then struck out, and Horta grounded out. But had they been able to do that, they might have changed the whole game around, been able to get a run across there in the 7th. Evans fouls one on the ground, and the count is still 3-2. But those are what might have been. What could have been, and that's just looking back. You got to look ahead. Right now, the Giants lead 5-3. The Braves have lost. So the Dodgers have to get at least 2 in the top of the 9th inning or close her up. Swing and a miss, and down goes Evans. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
You're listening to Dodger Baseball, sponsored in part by your Safeway Supermarkets. This is your Dodger station, KTAR Phoenix.
Terry Forster now ready to pitch to Jeff Leonard, who doubled and struck out twice. Fernando began the game, gave up 2 runs and 2 hits while he was in there in 6 innings. Came out for a hitter, Horta in the 7th inning, and it didn't work. Here's the pitch. Foul on the ground behind the plate. You can look back and also put another if into it. If Russell had been able to get the run in, they probably would not have hit for Fernando. He would have stayed in with the lead, and then there's no telling what would have happened. Here's a check swing, ground ball back to the mound. Forster has it, throws to Garvey. The inning is over, but the Dodgers now come to bat in the 9th inning with one more chance. Score 5-3 Giants.
Hello, Sidney Sims here at the Emerald Ballroom with another Western Air Force Radio Minute. The stylish stepsisters are here tonight, but first, a word from our sponsor, Western Airlines.
Here's the latest Dodger Blue special from the Western Air Force. It's the Las Vegas Fun Jet. 3 days and 2 nights in fabulous Las Vegas for as little as $99.95 per person, including airfare. The price includes double occupancy and round-trip transportation on Western. Call your travel agent for details on the Las Vegas Fun Jet from Funway Holidays and Western Airlines.
And now the stepsisters with their latest show tapper. Until we meet again, be happy, be healthy, and be sure to fly with Western Airlines. Good night.
ninth inning, and the Giants make the change at first base. Dave Bergman will come on and replace Reggie Smith at first. Here in the top of the ninth inning. On the mound, Greg Minton will pitch to Say, Yeager, and Russell. And they will see about a hitter in Forster's spot, and actually Yeager's not going to bat. Renicke's going to come out in his spot. So Greg Minton, who gave up a pop fly double to Landreau that got between Leonard and Wolford in left center field, and then a line drive double to Baker, but then struck out Garvey and got Mundy on a bouncer back to the box. Here's Say at bat, 2 out of 3, a second inning home run. So we're in the ninth inning, and the Dodgers are down to 3. Harry Forster gave up only 1 hit while he was in there, but it was a crusher. He gave up 1 run, 1 hit, the home run by Morgan. All right, here's Say at bat, and Minton trying to be the winning pitcher now. He's the pitcher of record. He has a 9-4 record on the year. Here's the pitch to Say. Down low, ball 1. 1-0 the count. So Minton is working. 1 ball and no strikes. Minton stopped the Dodgers cold in that 7th inning by getting Russell and Orta. Here's the pitch to Say, taken outside, ball 2, and it's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes in the ninth. For the Dodgers to go this far and now falter, it's been a very frustrating year. They've had their ups and downs. They've had the winning streaks. They overhauled the Braves once, and they were 10.5 back. They fell on an 8-game losing streak, came back and tried to catch them again as Say takes a strike, and it is 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ron Say. Big crowd, and they haven't budged. They're giving away prizes, including a car after the game. So they also want to see how this one comes out, the last game of the season for the Giants. And Say waiting. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ronnie, with Renicke due up next. Here's the look, and here's the pitch. Ground ball, third base way. Backhand stop by Evans. Turns, throws to Bergman, got him. Evans made a great play at third to take an extra base hit away from Ron Say. That's the way it's been going. A great play by Darrell Evans at third, and he took his time. He didn't get flustered. He knew that he would have time to get Say. Made a good stop, spun all the way around, got up and threw him out. So 1 away, and here is Renicke now to bat for Yeager. Ron Renicke. The Dodgers now have only 1 out left, rather 2 outs left, as they spend 1 here. Renicke at bat with Russell on deck, and then we'll see what happens after that. Speed LA is the champ, and the Giants are within 2 outs of doing it now on a 3-run home run by Joe Morgan in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Renicke takes the strike. 0-1 to Ron. Bill Russell is back into the dugout. They may hit for him. They may send up young Brock to try to hit one out, and here comes Russell back out of there again. 0-1 the count to Renicke. Top of the ninth, and the pitch to him. Low for a ball, 1-1. Minton has struck out 2, has not walked a batter. The season winding down to the last 2 outs unless the Dodgers can pull a rally. It is 5-3. The pitch, foul back, strike 2, 1-2. In the top of the ninth inning at Baltimore, it is Milwaukee leading 5-2. Don Sutton is still in there for Milwaukee. The Dodgers now, they've turned back on a great play by Evans. Pedro Guerrero comes out on deck. He might get a chance to swing the bat before the season is over. Renicky waiting, trying to keep it alive. Craig Benton ready to go to Renicky. Outside corner, strike 3 call. So the Dodgers have 1 out left. And it'll be Bill Russell, who was the first man that Benton faced in the 7th inning, and he struck him out. 1 precious out left. For the Dodgers, it is really a tough one to take after they got the help they needed from down south, but they weren't able to do it here unless Russell and Guerrero can keep it alive. Standing ovation now for the Giants. As Russell waits, here's a pitch on the way from Minton. A strike on a fastball. They can smell it now. It will climax the Giants' season. One of their best in a long time if they can put them away here and knock the Dodgers out of the pennant race. All right, crowd is going crazy here. 1 strike count to Russell. Here's the look. Minton ready, and the pitch on the way to Billy. Ground ball to third. That'll do it. Evans throws, and the season is over. Russell grounds out and goes on down the line to the Dodger clubhouse, and the Giants have beaten the Dodgers by a score of 5-3 here at San Francisco. 2 contrasting sights here in San Francisco. As Tony Bennett sings, "I left my heart in San Francisco," the Dodgers and the Giants leave the field by a common runway, which is unusual here. The visitors usually go through the exits in the right field gate, and the home team in their dugout behind first base. But today, with the crowd here, security people on the field, and the crowd standing and staying for their Fan Appreciation Award. The final score again, the Dodgers 5 and the Giants 5 and the Dodgers 3. And now this is Jerry Doggett along with Vin Scully and Ross Porter inviting station over the